people were just kind of like, we're supporting Schmurder right now. Like, then it just kind of dwelled on them.
Because society is jealous of other people's success.
Exactly. So it was never, I don't think it's even about whether they believe what they put out. I think it's all based off of, hey, I have worked my ass off at a job I hate, and I have 3 kids to feed, and I'm barely making it. But this little bitch gets out and has everything handed to her for Schmurder. It is jealousy.
Did y'all really hear what she just said? Because what she said was, people are jealous that she's came out and made money off of having her mom unalived for sausage. The fact that she came out and admitted that her mom was never diagnosed with Munchausen by proxy, that tells you everything that she has told us has been a lie. She had her mom unalived for sausage, and she used a man that was on permanent disability with autism and a low IQ and other mental health concerns to do it for her, and manipulated him. Now, I'm not saying that he should not serve time. I'm not saying he should not be held accountable. But for using someone that the government said, we're going to give you permanent disability because we do not believe you are capable of working to take care of yourself on your own, that is huge. And using someone that has a disability to manipulate them and use them the way that she did, and to come on here and say she does not identify as a murderer. And in case you don't remember, let's spin a block on that.
I don't associate myself as a murderer because if you think about it, yes, I had a part to play in it. I asked Nick for help. And how that conversation started was, he was saying that he would protect me from anyone. I said anyone. He said yes. I said even my mother. He said yes. And then the plan kind of formed from there. But he's the one that did the actual kill, not me. I can't kill anyone. That's why he's in trouble to begin with, because he's the one that did it.
Now, despite of what anybody has said, if you do your research, you look through the text messages, the text log between her and Nick, you will see that she had her hands in her mom's unaliving. It wasn't just Nick. But do your own research. I'm not here to prove that to you because you could deep dive and look into that yourself. But what I'm saying is, she is saying that hardworking people are jealous of her because she unalived her mom and became rich or got money. I need people to really take what she said for exactly what she said. She feels like she's above the working class. She thinks she's above the mom that works hard and takes care of their child. Meanwhile, all she does is lay on her back. Okay? For a man that does the same. For a man that she has doing the same thing too. Because she loves using that thing on him. Okay? So let's be for real, Gypsy. Get your life together.
Got some Gypsy Rose tea that's about to knock your socks right off. But before I tell you, this is all alleged. Now, I have a source that just told me Gypsy Rose and Ken will be engaged very soon to save face. She wants to be sure that Ken is not going to leave her. We already saw that kind of at the end of the Lifetime series, but I really wasn't anticipating an engagement, simply because I just didn't feel like Ken wanted to marry her. But it said that it's going to be really soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it was by the end of the week. Now, wait, if you think I just dropped some tea, I got so much more to tell you. Christy Blanchard wants the baby. And Ken has agreed that at first sign of Gypsy using the baby for manipulative or financial tactics, that he'll leave and apply for sole custody with Christy supporting him. But Christy wants to have sole guardian of the baby and says that Gypsy is unfit to be a mother. She can't even take care of herself. So how could she take care of the baby? And if it came down to it, she'd kick Gypsy out and allow Ken and the baby to stay if it means having control. Christy despises Gypsy so much and has vented to so many family members a lot about her being selfish, immature, lazy, and entitled. Rod is in the middle right now, but Mia is done. Gypsy found out yesterday about the plan for the baby and flipped. Huge argument. And it ended with Gypsy crying, claiming she was having miscarriage pains due to the stress from Christy putting pressure on her to go back to school and get a career while she helps the baby. It gets better. Children's Services has already reached out, asking to meet and discuss whether any support is needed, aka they are already keeping tabs on Gypsy. He cannot stand Christy or Mia, especially Mia, because Mia has the sense that it's not a secret that she's jealous of her. The plan is for Christy to tell Parole that Gypsy can't stay there anymore, and so leaving Gypsy having to go back, in which case the baby gets handed straight to the dad or her parents. Ryan is still being strung along and contacted every time Gypsy argues with Ken or Christy, and that's why he's so mad about them talks about Ken needing to get a job, because she's feeding him a victim storyline as usual and keeping him as backup in case she needs to use his address again when it all goes wrong for good. Gypsy hates being told what to do and having to watch Christy be the woman of the house as she needs to be in control. She's desperately trying to present as them getting along and the appearance for the sake of Parole watching her. She's spiraling, and now she found out about Ken and Christy having conversations about the baby's future and that it may not involve her, and she's about to do something drastic. Apparently, she's given Ken an ultimatum to propose to her for the public to see and to realize that for them not to realize how bad things are and to prove to her that he is not going to betray her, as otherwise she's threatened to find a way to keep him out of the baby's life. Gypsy is glued to his phone 24/7, crazy obsessed. Even Rod told her it's not healthy and why be with someone and have a kid with them if you have to watch their every move and don't want him to work out of jealousy. Y'all, this is a source. So I want you guys to make your own decision if you believe this or not. I'm just telling you what is alleged. You know, I am not a fly on the wall in their house, but this is the information I have. And you let me know down below what you think. I have another video of a part 2 coming because this person spilled a lot of tea and I was not expecting this. And that's why I didn't really post yesterday, because I was just trying to really digest this because it's a lot. Gypsy Rose Saga from a Source, part 4. And this story is really taking a wild turn for the worse right now.
This is all alleged.
Stumbling. It takes a lot for her to get there. She was just very emotional, which isn't usually her. She is worried that she enables Gypsy to stay feeling entitled, self-centered, and lazy. Now I'm going to give you this quick side note. I feel like this was Christy saying these things to these people, but really to make herself look good. So I want you guys to keep in mind when you're listening to this, this is Christy talking to someone else about the situation, about how she feels. So take the way she's trying to protect herself with a grain of salt. Christy said she's willing to protect Rod's grandbaby at all costs. Christy finding out about Gypsy's chromosome disorder and realizing that the procedures that she had was genuinely needed changed everything for her. Before, Christy gave Gypsy advice and meaning how to manipulate and change the narrative of her mother's unaliving and to play victim, including reaching out to celebrities and famous people to gain sympathy. Christy has reached out for interviews and podcasts to control the spread of the info on social media while Gypsy was behind bars. Now, side note, when you really think about it, she actually did a good job because the narrative we were believing up until Gypsy came out and really showed her butt. Christy had been deeply involved with everything happening with Gypsy, and she did this because she loved the power, the control, and the importance it gave her. Gypsy was out of her hair, and she could deal with her when she wanted or needed, anytime it would benefit her while Gypsy was behind bars. Now she can't, and it's becoming a bigger issue than Christy ever thought. Yes, Christy was paid for her time, her efforts, and her research. While the truth came out about the medical records in black and white, it changed everything because it means her time and efforts went down the drain and could backfire on her and her family. Others are also able to see the truth. Up until that point, Christy didn't realize how manipulative Gypsy really was, or is. Christy has vented along with sharing information about the medical records. The oversharing Christy is doing is starting to look like a spiral. She was pissed how much she lied to her, and she is in too deep in over her head. Her fear right now, which has came up many times, is if she doesn't keep Gypsy close to her, in her heart, she knows she will turn on her. She is sure Gypsy has her own version of made-up events she will share with the world. Christy knows that Gypsy has realized how many people are figuring out the truth, and her story is genuinely not adding up. And people are finding proof of her lies. Christy believes when this all blows up, to pull on the heartstrings of the public, she's going to blame Christy to avoid backlash and to justify, to capitalize on the unaliving to be financially stable. Christy has also said Gypsy isn't remorseful and will never take accountability for anything in life. Gypsy will do anything to gain the public's support, and she will step over anyone's toes, even if she cares about them to do so. Christy feels stuck in a rut and regrets ever sticking her neck out for Gypsy, and regrets ever getting involved. Now, I feel like she does regret getting involved, but the only reason why she really regrets getting involved is now that really everything is coming to surface. Christy is now having arguments with Rod on the regular. He normally lets her do whatever she wants unless he feels strongly about it. Then he'll put his foot down. Christy taking the lead into things allows him to not have to look too deeply into everything and the reality of what's really going on. The truth is coming out more and more, and Rod is asking more questions. The gender reveal did not sit right with Christy after Gypsy admitted her concerns about the chromosome disorder with the baby. But if she puts her foot down, Christy will quit supporting her. And Christy knows she has a new story prepped and ready for the public. Christy knows that she has ammunition to make her look bad and humiliate her. She is praying Gypsy grows up and becomes a good mom and proves everybody wrong, but she's doubting it. I personally feel karma is real, and you can't avoid this blowing up and them turning against each other. I don't believe they'll avoid a big conflict in the near future, and now I believe Christy's reason for talking so much is because she's worried what Gypsy is going to reveal about her and the interference over the years, and Christy spills her guts out knowing that she can't trust anyone, but I don't think she really cares. At least she didn't care up until the real versions of events came out about the unaliving. It wasn't something she openly discussed. She had a few drunken heart-to-hearts that she'd probably long since forgot that she'd ever spoken out loud. So the fact that it came out confirming to Gypsy that Christy is sharing secrets, obviously both of them already don't trust each other. But Gypsy, until this point, had no solid proof. Now she knows without a shadow of a doubt how Christy hates her, and Christy knows that that info coming out isn't good. Christy knows this information coming out. Gypsy now knows and is very well aware of how much Christy really hates her. Christy was really drunk saying all of this. But you know that in the back of her mind, the fact that she knows Gypsy is ruthless and she plans to step on her toes to get herself out of trouble when all the lying finally comes out, that revelation of Christy babbling her mouth, the motive, means Christy knows that whatever she'd say originally about her, Gypsy would claim that about her now, and there's going to be nothing held back. And everything Kay has done and said in the dark is going to come out to light and possibly break up her marriage and her family, especially as she has no intentions of letting Gypsy exposing her without her taking Gypsy down too. But she said she'd rather that not happen. When your part 1 and part 2 came out, it really changed a lot, and now all their confidence, plans for the baby, etc. are all up in air. Her new priority is her reputation and her image, and how she can get out of this without damage. But she still wants to make sure she can get everything out the situation that she wants. I am dreading the baby being born and truly cannot see Gypsy or Christy being permanently in her life. Mia won't take responsibility for that child as she's got enough on her plate. And Rod works a lot and Ken is halfway out the door. Gypsy is well aware that Ken likes sausage. She doesn't care as long as he's with her, but his future plans do not include her, and I've heard it. He will not be going anywhere until after the birth. He is going to see it through. I believe he sees this baby as the child he gets to raise with his male spouse. Because as we all know, 2 men can't make a baby. But Ken has always wanted a baby. He just doesn't want a lifetime with a girl, especially the one he has. He has to tiptoe around her and cater to her. And he claims she feels like she's back with her mom every time him and her family get into it. Especially anything that has to do with learning to cook, even simple things like walking or getting off her butt. The family now has designated days on when they post. No matter what's going on. So, for example, if Mia posts for 5 days in a row about random things, at least on the 6th or the 7th day, she'll post something where she will at least mention or show her family or Gypsy, just so people think that everything is okay. And if she sees something on TikTok about Gypsy, she'll put something nice. All right, so there's a few things that I want to clear up, and I also want to give you my opinion. A lot of people in one of my videos said that CPS couldn't contact Gypsy before the baby is born. That is a complete lie because there is a fetal heartbeat law in the state of Louisiana. Because of that law, CPS can step in while you're pregnant. Now, there's not too much that they can do, but there are things in place that they can do. Now, this is something that you can look up, so you don't have to take my word for it, but don't be a keyboard gangster. Actually go look it up. Also, I want to touch on something really quick. Do you guys remember Raji Man? Raji Man is dating one of Gypsy Rose's attorney's employees. This woman right here in the black. Now, someone just wrote me about him, and I'd like to share it with you. I'm going to show you a screenshot, but I crossed out that person's name. Hey, I've been following you for a while now, and I just recently saw the whole video with Gypsy Rose and her divorce attorney and her 2 employees. The lady you talked about in the black dress, well, she is a domestic abuse survivor. The man she is dating, the one that you showed in the video, he is a domestic abuser himself. He choked his ex-wife, and she was able to fight him off, but he did do it, along with other things. But I just figured this would be an interesting piece of information for you. I prefer if you don't share where you got this information from, but I just wanted to share it with you. So to that follower that sent that, I really appreciate it. Thank you for bringing awareness because this is a serious issue. Now, what I think is ironic about this entire situation is this is someone that also supports Gypsy Rose. Now, also, remember that this guy is dating someone that works in the law firm that Gypsy Rose's attorney owns. Remember, her attorney has a nonprofit organization for domestic abuse victims. This is all so crazy to me.
Now, do you guys also remember that guy, Matthew, that had the pew pew issue with his wife? That Gypsy Rose's attorney actually defended in his divorce? Y'all, I got some juicy tea about him and so much that's going on in the Bayou. I've received so many emails and messages. I'm just trying to put everything together so that I can get it out to you guys and it can all make sense. Honestly, I never expected to get all this information, so it's like I'm getting a lot of information and I'm trying to figure out how to get it out to you guys in the best way and also not expose anyone that's giving me the information. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. This whole situation that's going on down in the Bayou, it kind of makes me really sad that people feel like they can't really speak out about injustices or things that are happening because certain people have a lot of power. And I'm going to try to shed the light that I need to shed on this so that maybe it'll really help the community and the community can do better. But y'all, this is the tea on the Gypsy Rose saga, and I wasn't expecting all this. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I'm so sorry for taking so long to get back to you guys. I think TikTok took part 2 down, but I'm going to give you the cliff notes. The pastor had some kids, and 2 of the sons, I believe, he was giving sloppy toppy to too. So it's like I believe, don't quote me, he was like playing games and he would, like if he played a game and he lost, like a board game or something like that, he would have to give them sloppy toppy. The sons, okay? Now the sons are over on IG, like basically smack talking the video that he made that you just watched. So he's like, my mom would leave me at y'all's house for sleepovers or for y'all to watch me, and y'all are over there on Instagram talking smack when you know this really happened and you know your dad did that to me, but y'all did it too. I'm telling you, and I think what people don't really realize is that you could tell that it still bothers him now, because when he speaks about it, it's like he gets upset, and he gets upset because it hurt him. They hurt him. Like, you know, at 12 and 13 years old, like, you think you know everything, you think you know what you're doing, but you really don't. Nobody likes to get taken advantage of and realize that you were being taken advantage of as an adult, and it impacts who you are as a person today or has shaped you or framed you. Like, he just, like, it was a wild video, but I don't see it. Like, I think TikTok took it down. I am never going to be a brand safe creator because I will always speak out against corporate greed, regardless whether I benefit from it or not. I will always speak up for humanity because that's important to me. People suffering, people hurting, people being affected will always matter to me. I will always speak out for the disabled. I will always speak out for the less fortunate. I will always speak out for people getting screwed over by a system built to screw us over. I will always speak out for those things. So I will never be brand safe, because in order to be brand safe, these brands want you to conform to being okay with corporate greed and everything else. I will never conform to that. Ever. And anyone that is willing to conform to that, you are willing to let people suffer so you can benefit, which is the American way of life, which is why America is in the state that it's in right now. I will never conform to that. I will never be okay with the poor being taken advantage of. I will never be okay with people lacking so the rich can get richer. I will never be okay with that. That will never sit right with me. Free Sudan, free Gaza, free Palestine, free the people in captive. Everyone deserves to eat. Everyone. I've never collected food stamps a day in my life or government assistance, but I care for the people that are. I do. And I think we need to put pressure on these corporations. Period. Friend that's offended by this, then you need to do better, because you're only offended by it because you're not doing better. Where is living a life of regrets right now. Poor Kayla has literally ran Halloween with her costume. And you know he looked like he just, man, that's why he lost the game the other night. Because his mind was in the wrong place. His mind was on that dance, okay? And you know him and Taylor got to be arguing about this. Because I keep seeing all these comments where y'all are saying, oh, Taylor's not worried about her. Taylor literally stalked this girl's social media and her content to see old videos of her and Travis and inserted the things that Travis was saying to her. Yeah, you can't tell me that. I really had to play this back because I needed y'all to see this close up.